procurement, and market research.
So we're back on the air. This is Gilbert Buchanan along with
Crystal Mitchell.
And we're on the Business Zone. And today we got a fantastic guest here in our studio. Who do we have, Crystal?
We have the current president of the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce, Miss Angela Gibson Shaw.
All right.
And I'm very honored that she agreed to be on the show. We're thrilled to death. There are many of us out here that we're in the trenches doing our thing. And so GLAAACC is one of those organizations, Recycling Black Dollars, and you have Vermont Slauson and the Black Business or BBA, Black Business Association. It's work. It's definitely work corralling our people. Yeah. So I am very thankful that you agreed to be on the show. Thank you. And Miss Angela, she comes with a vast array of experience with small business outreach and community engagement. She recently retired from AT&T, and she did what did you do there? Governmental and philanthropy affairs in the Los Angeles area while managing corporate relationships with the African American community. And then after she retired, she served briefly as the principal telecom consultant for Senator Steve Bradford. She is past chair in Compton and Linwood and Culver City and Carson's Chamber of Commerce. And she's a resident of Inglewood, which is a really new growth spot in our community. We want to make sure we stay present. Yes. And she now sits on the board, serves on the board of the Inglewood Airport Chamber of Commerce. So welcome, Angela.
Thank you. Well, one thing that you probably didn't see on the paperwork there is that Miss Angela Gibson is also a new member of the board of a new commissioner with the County of Los Angeles.
Yes.
So she'll be working with small businesses.
Right. Yes.
Welcome to the Business Zone.
Thank you. Wow. I know, right? Thank you. Come to join my tribe.
Yeah, come join your tribe because we need you. Hey, Rhonda, and good to see you. Rhonda saying hello, Gilbert, and hello, Angela.
Hey, Rhonda.
Rhonda Santaford was she worked with the Urban League. She retired. Now she's with Celebrate Life, and now she's consulting back with the Urban League. We all come back around full circle, especially when you care about our people. So, Angela, we are so happy to have you. Our topic today is about our small businesses and how we can elevate them and how we can help them grow. And Rhonda sending much love.
Yeah, okay.
much love. So, and you've set in so many different capacities where you've interacted with our small businesses. So from that perspective, what has been some of our challenges and where do we go from here in order to make changes and to take our businesses to that next level? We don't have to get into
Right. I think the premise really is the things that you guys talk about on your radio show is being ready. Yeah. Being ready financially, being ready psychologically, being ready emotionally, and just being ready for when that contract comes, as you say, to keep it, to be able to sustain it.
Right.
It really is a hustle, but I love the hustle of being an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah.
But it definitely is a hustle.
That's right. It takes special DNA to make this thing happen.
It sure does. And I love the passion that I see in the businesses that come into GLAAACC.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're ready to take that next step. They're ready to go to the next level. They realize now that they need support and assistance, and they want to grow their business.
Now, for some of the viewers who are viewing this show and listening to the show right now who've never heard of GLAAACC before, can you tell them exactly what GLAAACC is?
Sure. So GLAAACC is the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce. And it was created in 1999 by our chairman, Gene Hale, and some other businessmen that were wanting to put together a group of folk, African American businesses, that would be able to advocate to compete for Los Angeles City contracts.
Excellent.
And so from that, it's really, really grown to becoming regional, national. Our chairman, Gene Hale, was appointed by then Barack Obama and sat on his Small Business Import-Export Council. He's also an appointee of the mayor and the governor. And just recently, both he and I Gene's been on that commission for a while, but recently I was appointed to the Small Business Commission by Supervisor LA County Mark Ridley Thomas.
Oh, that's great. That's phenomenal.
Yes, and so that really gives us an opportunity to bring to the table of GLAAACC all the opportunities at the local, state, national, federal level of all of the opportunities. And so what we're doing is just really collecting those opportunities, the things that are going on right now, especially right now, unprecedented opportunities in our community. LAX, the Los Angeles World Airport, there's a multi-billion-dollar renovation going on.
Yeah.
And so that's right in the backyard of Inglewood, which is mostly a known black town, city, I guess, if you will.
And Metro.
And then, of course, Metro coming through, the Metro LAX line. And then, of course, I got a whole list here I want to show. Because I think it really helps, when you say you need to get ready for business.
Yeah.
And like, what business?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So the Inglewood Stadium, of course, which is about a $2 billion build. The Crenshaw Mall just received permission to begin to redevelop, and it's going to be a $700 million redevelopment. And they're going to be calling this the Silicon South. You got Silicon Valley, Silicon Beach.
Silicon Beach,
so Crenshaw is going to be known as Silicon South.
I'm loving that already.
I know, right? So we got to get ready. George Lucas just announced his museum that's going to be built in the Exposition Park area.
Really?
And so GLAAACC has met with those folks, and actually on December 5th, they're having a big small business outreach. So those that want to participate in the build of this George Lucas Museum, his wife, Sister Melody Hobson, is going to be running it. Right. And so she's bringing the best team in to make sure that this museum is all that it can be to the community and that there is a high level of participation from businesses of color.
That's great.
And of course, GLAAACC sits at the table to make sure that African-American businesses are included, women-owned, veteran businesses are included at a high level. Of course, we want to see goals. It's not more good faith effort, and we're going to try to get y'all some. We want to see
Actually, when I work with LA Community College District, they talk about that. We call it good fake effort. It's not good fake. It's good fake. Because they're really faking it. They're really not trying to provide opportunities for small businesses. They're just saying, okay, we have reached out to 150 small businesses, but none of them was ready. So therefore, we can't provide them any opportunities. We don't want that anymore. We want to see legitimate opportunities. And one of the things that I really want to put out there, and I want all my audience to know that these propositions that we're voting on, that they pop up every election cycle and we vote on it, we're voting to tax ourselves. And part of that is that once we vote to tax ourselves, then they're going to provide opportunities in those projects that you just talked about.
That's right. Their projects Measure M, that's Metro. They're going to be building stuff from now until next 40 years. Measure H and HH that address homeless.
Yes.
They're going to be, so there are projects and services that are needed to wrap around that stakeholder. And then also the governor's SB1, the whole transportation funding.
Yes.
And Caltrans and that 12-cent gas tax. That all is for monies to improve projects and road way. And so a lot of these projects now, GLAAACC is wanting to sit down at the table with each of these folks. We're meeting with them. Just got through meeting with the NBA because in February 2018, the NBA All-Star Games will be held in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
And so if you go to their website, I don't have it right at my fingertips, but there's a place there you can go and register as a business, and they're looking for minority businesses. There are many, many, many opportunities for catering and IT and photo, all kinds of services because it's a whole
all of that
week.
stuff.
It's a whole week of activities around the All-Star Games. We're even looking at the 2028 Olympics.
That's what we're talking about.
We want to be dialed in there because another thing that Gene really talks about is you've got to be there before the deal is done.
That's right.
By the time they announce that we want to share with you guys what the opportunities are, it's really a wrap. And so what you're seeing now is just all for show. But what you want to do is start getting ahead of it. LAUSD, we recently were invited to sit in on the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School Districts. They might be a little ways away, but still, there are contracts and opportunities that organizations such as ours are bringing to our community to tell you, hey, let's go get paid. The Port of LA, the Port of Long Beach. And the other unique thing is that many of these projects are now designed, build, operate, and maintain. So through the life, it's not just we're going to go here and hammer in a nail or whatever, but you can sit down at the architect level to help design it. I know a brother that has a business, a lucrative business with Metro in the whole photocopy and there's a way that he photocopies those plans.
The plans and specs.
The brands and specs. So that's in the design of it. And then, of course, the build in it. We're really, really working also with the unions, too, jobs, and, of course, in the build, the subcontractors is just crazy.
And with that comes the local hire programs where they have to hire 30% of the people in the community.
Right. And you know who's going to hire them? The people that get some of the smaller contracts.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because that's one of the beauties of a black business is how it raises up the entire community because that's who's going to hire the community when these jobs come through.
That's where we're doing the recycling of the black dollars.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. That's what it is.
Got to circulate.
The whole cannabis industry. That's going to be a multi-billion. Where do we plug in? Because when we last plugged in, we got in trouble. So we want to plug in on an official way. And yes, and get paid for that. Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine just announced their groundbreaking ceremony of an academy again that they're going to build at USC over at Exposition Park. And it's just lots and lots and lots of we're in the way of lots of opportunities. So what we're trying to do is put all this information together, meet with these folks to advocate for real participation at the design, the build. You can either help operate it and you can help maintain it too. Those are lucrative contracts too, those janitorial contracts. So especially at those stadiums that are being built. So we sit down with these folks and advocate for pieces of the pie to the various, and then bring that information back to our membership and then help them get ready. So now you know there's all this money out here, right? And so you're in a business and you got something, a service that you want to provide, but we need you to be ready now. So now we get you ready to go after these.
Got to get them ready.
Yes, right.
And that's some of why we're doing what we're doing. So we're not just sending you to the SBA to fill out an application, and then you don't know what to do with it, because that's what happens to a lot of our businesses, right?
Correct.
They just fill it out and they have the certification.
Right.
But they don't know how to they don't know how to bid, they don't know who's out there.
That's true.
And so that's why Gilbert and I said, let's sit down and let's make this happen. Let's do a hands-on and walk them through the process, bring people in so that you can have that conversation so that they see it's real. Because what's interesting is most of our small businesses think that certification or contract business is just for the construction industry.
Right. No, not at all. Not at all. For instance, just being appointed recently to the LA Commission, one thing they say, they buy everything from paper clips to airplanes. And so if you sell it, they probably buy it. But you're right. You want to get certified. But they even talk about just at least get registered.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, we can do certification later. And if you've got your hustle right, they'll make sure you get certified. But they want you to register. They want you to register. And so that's the kind of workshops that we have. We work with you guys all the time on workshops to get certified.
Get ready.
Teaming, joint ventures, business plans, working on capability statements. Gilbert, we'd have you down there do a couple of those. Southern California Edison is a great supporter of leadership and capability workshops. And so we cover a number of subjects to help small businesses get ready. There is no other time like now to be a part of this pie with those projects in our community. Normally stuff is being built out in Hollywood and Santa Clarita and all over the place, but in our backyards in Exposition Park, on Crenshaw, on the other side of Inglewood, we have to participate. So we do all kinds of stuff. Networking. Our three main missions at GLAAACC is education through our workshops and our seminars, networking through our different mixers and opportunities that we have, and then advocacy.
That's great.
Gene and I are always at City Hall, writing City Council, going down to the county to advocate on behalf of opportunities. And again, like you said, not the good fake effort, but we want to see in writing. For instance, while they were building, as they were hammering out the contract for the Inglewood Stadium, the mayor of Inglewood is adamant that there was a high number. I think it's like 25 or 30% of people that build that stadium and that work in that stadium must be of color. And they probably better be coming from around here somewhere,
That's what I'm talking about.
So those prime contractors, all those, the big guys, the Walshays, then they have to subcontract with all of us because they don't know.
That's right.
They don't have access. They can't get to those people. So they subcontract with regular folks that can employ the neighborhood and they can get some of those jobs done. So that's where we do a lot of work in our advocacy, always advocating on behalf of.
See, that brings me to my next point, because many of the primes that bid on these projects and they get awarded those projects, they're not from here. They're from out of state. They're from somewhere else. Now, they don't really know the landscape. So how are they going to hire a qualified or a certified business locally? They don't know that. I mean, they may get a list,
right,
but then they don't have a relationship with those small businesses. And that's why with us getting them ready, filtering them through GLAAACC, filtering them through the Urban League or other chambers of commerce and other entities is really what we need to do.
And that also made for opportunities for consultants.
There you go.
They don't come from they don't come from the state. They don't even come from the country.
That's what I'm talking about.
In bidding and getting this LAX to rebuild the LAX.
Yeah.
They don't even come from the country. And so they come and they need to know who's who at the zoo.
Yeah.
And so they hire consultants, me, you,
exactly.
you, and you. Can you help me find some folks that can do this, and that?
Exactly.
And we'll pay you through the life of this project. So there's work from A to Z.
And that's why we really need to get our guys ready.
Yeah.
Guys and ladies ready to do this work.
Right. And that's one of the reasons that the inspiration for the Business Zone was to have this conversation.
Absolutely.
Because we'll get together and we'll have this conversation. Right. And if we happen to come, those happen to come to a meeting at RBD or GLAAACC or anywhere else, and you may hear it. But then what about everybody else in Los Angeles that can't come to a meeting or they're working too hard and can't leave? Most of our small businesses can't leave their businesses because they don't have anyone to fill in for them, right? So this is the purpose of the Business Zone, is so we can have this conversation to make sure you're on the front side.
Right.
Before they start breaking ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and so I know that you've had some of our partners here. We partner with, like you said, the BBA, Recycling Black Dollars Business Resource Group. Vermont Slauson, Joe Roseanne, Gilbert Buchanan, the Business Zone, the Crenshaw Chamber, the SBA, all the supplier diversity people. There are lots of folks of color that work at corporations. And so they have an inside scoop too.
Oh, yes.
So that's all about that networking. That's the networking piece that you do at these different organizations. Can't forget NABO, the women's organizations.
Yes.
And then there are veterans organizations too. So there's an association. There's so many benefits with plugging into an organization such as GLAAACC.
Yes.
So that you can be in like company, that we can band together and have a bigger voice to go advocate for our piece of the pie for this economic development. That's what it's all about.
Excellent.
What's going on right now.
Excellent. Now go ahead, Crystal.
You have a scholarship program as well through
We do.
Through GLAAACC, right?
We do. GLAAACC also has its own nonprofit 501c3. It's called the GLAAACC Education Fund and Foundation. And what we do is every year we go out to the 4 inner city high schools, what is it, Crenshaw, Washington Prep, Dorsey, and another one. I can't think of it right now. Mm-hmm. And through a competitive application process, we choose 2 students, high school seniors from each of those 4 high schools that are on their way to college, and we give them scholarships.
I like that.
And those that have kind of a business slant, that's our focus too.
That's great.
We actually also have a business evolution program where we're mentoring one person at a time at GLAAACC through a competitive process.
Right.
We pick one of our small members and mentor them and match them up with an intensive 12-month kind of mentorship program with one of our corporate members. We've had Honda, we've had IBM, we've had Bank of America, we've had Wells Fargo. And so what they do is take one of our small businesses, and for 12 months, let's take a look at your books. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at your business plan.
I like
let's
that.
take a look at your branding, your business, your website. Let me show you how we do it here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so just kind of, it's almost like a finishing school, I guess, if you will.
I like that.
And then help them with network, with access.
Yeah.
Here's some folks, some contacts that may be helpful that could maybe use your services.
Yeah.
And so that, again, is a great program that we have, too. That's developing, remaking, upgrading one business at a time.
That's
excellent.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
That's
Now,
fantastic.
for those of you who are just tuning in right now, you're watching and you're listening to the Business Zone with
Krista
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. This program is sponsored by Recycling Black Dollars and Small Biz Pro. And speaking about Recycling Black Dollars, Crystal, do you want to tell our audience how many times the black dollar gets circulated in the community before it disappears?
6 hours.
6 hours. 6 hours. That's not good. That is not good.
In other communities, it rotates around 17 times in the Asian community. I believe it's 14 times in the Hispanic community. And this is in a day. So our dollar, I like to I like to equate that to so people can really understand what $6 6 hours mean, right?
Yeah.
So you go to your job, you get paid in the morning at 10, right? And then you get to go to the bank before 4, and you put it in the bank, a white bank, right? And then you go to the supermarket, Ralph's, which is not owned by a black person. That's it, it's gone.
That's what I'm talking about. So I just want small businesses to think about these things, because in other ethnicities and other communities, the dollars are staying, it's being circulated much, much longer than ours. So I want you to think about that. The next time that you think about supporting a business or providing a resource or a service, think about those things. It's very critical to the sustainability of our minority businesses.
And I like to, the way I handle recycling my dollars, because there are certain things in our community that's not available in our community. But if I'm going to go spend $100 at Macy's, then I'm going to find a small business provider that I can spend match that at another organization. Recycling Black Dollars, and I bank at Broadway Federal, which at one point was completely a black bank, and they've moved on, and it's now a publicly traded bank. There are others that are part of RBD that bank at One United Bank. So my money is in a black bank. I actually make my money from people that look like me, and then it goes back into the bank, and then I make sure that there's somewhere I spend my dollars, it goes back to people that look like me.
Now, we're not just talking about this just to talk about it because we want to beat down on any particular entity, but I just want you small businesses to think about this. As a small business owner, you know you got to thrive, and the only way you can thrive is using money. How do you get money? Well, you need a line of credit or you need a loan. How do you get that loan or line of credit? Well, you got to go to somewhere. You got to go to a bank. What are they going to tell you? Well, you don't have a history with us. We're not familiar with you. What are your ratios? How long have you been in business? Are you certified? Who have you done business with? So these are all the questions that they're asking. So that's part of the reason why we do this business readiness, contract readiness, and bank readiness program to get you there. You know, we understand what ratios they're looking at, so we teach you what those ratios are so you can get ready. So these are some of the things that we really, really got to disseminate.
And that same information, you know, at their meeting, at GLAAACC meeting, at Recycle Black Dollars, we bring those bankers to our meetings to have these conversations with you. One, so you can now see them close up in front and shake their hand and hopefully go back and sit down and have a conversation. Some of the things I find is very interesting when I talk to my clients and they're saying, Krista, where can I find money? Because you get that, get that. Where do I find money? Yeah. Okay. So my first question is, let's look at kind of business you have and what your collateral is before I even give you a referral. Right. And then I usually say, so have you gone to your bank? And they're like, my bank? Yeah, the place where you're putting all of your dollars. Yeah. Do you have a relationship with the bank that you have your money in? And they're like, oh, no, I just go up to the teller and do. No, you should have a representative. When I go to Broadway Federal, I don't care, any of the 3 branches. Hi, Christo. Hi, how you doing? The minute I hit the door, all 3 branches know me.
And that's exactly how it should be. I have gone into banks before, and, you know, I won't say their name. I'll just say the big 3. You'll know who they are, okay? I've walked into those banks, and I'm trying to establish a relationship with the banker there. And then I go back next month, that person's totally gone. It's a different person. So now I got to start a new relationship. And it just keep happening like that every month. I said, you know what? I get tired of it. So then I went to another bank, which was U.S. Bank. Those guys are relationship banks.
Yeah.
Those guys, they keep their employees there forever. They don't get rid of them every other month. Who don't understand your business. They don't understand where you're coming from, your philosophy. So that's what I want small businesses out there to do. Establish a relationship with a bank. When you walk in a bank, if they don't know your first name, get your money and get out of it.
And you know what, you guys, at GLAAACC, not only did we have seminars and workshops with all of our banking friends, they're all part of the membership, but we also had a couple of workshops this year that talked about angel investors.
Yeah.
UCLA hosted one, and there were a number of folks that came and talked about other ways to get money, angel investors, and how to pick them, the GoFundMe kinds of projects, especially that look to startups. They want to give money to especially those that are technical in nature. And then most recently, we also had a workshop that talked about alternatives to regular kinds of banks. In our recent workshop on November 1st, you were there, Gilbert. We had a brother that is with an alternative lending company called Lendistry.
Oh, yes.
And he had a really interesting take on he gets money from investors and looks for a certain kind of business to invest it in, but he says that he doesn't look at your FICO score and your bank records and your tax returns. He says he looks at your social media page.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because if you don't have no friends, you don't have no customers.
That's what I'm talking
because
about.
When he gives you some money, he wants to know how you're going to pay it back, and so he needs to see how you socially
your
interact
network.
At what level, your social worth, right? And that way he knows that he's got a better chance of making some real interesting alternatives to traditional banking.
And actually, that's interesting you said that, because I was reading an article from Experian, and they are collecting data, and they were saying alternative data, and that's where they're going is to your social media outlets to see, what are you selling on your pages? Are you interacting with everyone on your pages? Or are you just this obscure business that have no connection to anybody? Because there are so many businesses in our community that are afraid to have a Facebook page or a LinkedIn page. They think it's an invasion of privacy, and no matter how you try to explain it, they're like, oh, no, they'll know everything about me. No, it's a business page. It's not about, we don't want to know where you walking your dog. We don't care about that. We don't care about your babies or your grandbabies. You need to have a page that, you need to have a carbon footprint on the internet.
And if you're in business, you need to keep it clean.
You need to keep it clean.
I went to a meeting the other day to meet with some folks who they wanted to talk about partnering with GLAAACC, and I went to introduce myself, and she said, oh, yeah, I know, I Googled you. I mean, this is like some older, other folks. And okay, that's how, you can give me your resume, but I already looked you up.
Right, and that's really what's happening. Well, actually, employers do that. I tell my students all the time, make sure if you're looking for a job, you better clean up your Facebook pages, make them private. If there's some other stuff on there that is your alter ego, close that, shut that one down, make it super private, only have your friends have access to it, and then you have a personal, public page that then talks about you and positive stuff.
Right, and work those LinkedIn pages. You have to really work your social media pages. Work all of it and really be mindful of the kinds of things that you put out into the universe. That because lots of people are looking to provide, a blessing to you, but and so you want to have that, I'm ready.
And then that's the first place they're going to go. I do that. I mean, if I need to know, I meet somebody, I need to know, who you are before I do business.
I'm looking for somebody to do my taxes, or I'm looking for something, or this or that, or whatever you do. You start surfing, social media.
Yeah, you start, and then you ask for referrals from friends and stuff. Leo Kabline said hello, Angela. He says hi.
Absolutely.
Our special guest in the studio today is Miss Angela Gibson, President. Shaw.
I just got married. And so
Angela Gibson Shaw.
I'm new to that new last name. But we both Shaw.
We just want to let you know, and she's a president of GLAAACC, which is a Greater African American Chamber of Commerce. And they've got some great opportunities there. If you've never heard of the chamber before, I'd like for you guys to check out that chamber. Go check it out. It's an opportunity for you to access resources. And my co-host on the show is
Krista.
And I'm Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we'll bring up our next guest. So take a break.
We're going to give a few more minutes because she has an event coming.
Yeah, let me tell you the website.
Okay. Yeah, when we come back from break.
Okay.
We'll do that when we come back from break.
Yeah, because you got a Christmas event coming up.
Take a break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic, and our phenomenal guest, Angela Gibson Shaw. She's been sharing some great resources with us, and this is just phenomenal. So, Crystal, you had a question for Angela.
Yeah,
right?
Angela, GLAAACC has a number of events coming up, holiday event, and then we want her to give us her information on how to reach out, how to attend a GLAAACC event and become a member of GLAAACC. Because as you can see, there's so much, there's just a wealth of information and resources there. And she's one of our community partners, and we
thank you. And access to you guys is also a benefit of membership with GLAAACC.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. So we're actually ending our year now, and we're going to end it with a big holiday mixer, and that's going to take place on Wednesday, December 13th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Sheraton Gateway Hotel, Los Angeles. That's located at 6101 West Century Boulevard, and the entry is only a $20 unwrapped toy valued at $20.
That's great.
We're going to collect the toys, and then we're going to divide them between the Union Rescue Mission and the Parents of Watts. And I know lots of folks here know your Sweet Alice, who runs that program. So Union Rescue Mission doing great work down there. Kitty Davis Walker, our good friend, is down there doing public relations for them, and so serving the homeless and the families and children, men and women. So we're going to help make their holidays more bright, as well as Sweet Alice got a whole bunch of folks waiting on her to bring back goodies. So, and we'll have a good time. We've got good food, good fun, good company for a good cause. So we want to invite all of your folks listening to come on down and join us. Just bring a $20 unwrapped toy and get in on the fun. And then,
Okay, so we'll definitely be there.
So the 13th, we got our class, and then after
we have to
that,
leave straight from the class.
Yeah, okay,
come on,
right around the corner.
Yeah, right around the corner.
So you have another event there.
So also just our big 25th anniversary gala is coming up, and that's our big dinner, our big black tie dinner, and that's where our big sponsors come and donate, and that allows us to do all the things that we do throughout the year. Last year, our keynote speaker was Steve Ballmer, owner of the Clippers. We've had Magic as keynote speaker. Gilbert and lots of folks from the Obama administration during that time.
That's great.
So lots of movers and shakers and the latest influencers. And that takes place March 30th of
March
2018.
30th. I'll put it on my calendar.
Put it on your calendar.
Yep.
If you want to know more about all of the things that GLAAACC does, we invite you to join us on our website, and that's www.glaaacc.org.
Okay.
Let me spell GLAAACC for you.
Yes.
That's GLAAACC, GLAAACC.org.
I love that.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun.
Oh,
So
this
we
is
will put up
wonderful.
if you send that electronic picture of both your event and the anniversary dinner coming up. I will put it under the show, and then you will get a copy of the show.
Great, thank you so much. And thank you again, Gilbert, for pinch hitting at the November 1st conference.
I really enjoyed it.
Gilbert wasn't on program, but when one of our speakers was late, we tapped him, and before I knew it, he was up on stage.
It doesn't take much.
See, that's all.
Ready, man.
That's all about being ready. As an entrepreneur, gotta be ready.
So wait a minute, I got something in my head. A lot of times Gilbert and I will be on the show, and if our guest doesn't show up, and one time Gilbert didn't show up, my sister's like, "Oh my God, you're gonna have to do the show by yourself, 2 whole hours of talking. How you gonna do that?" I said, "Girl, I teach 4-hour classes. I'm gonna just have a class today." In fact, the other day, and this is an announcement we haven't made, and we want everyone to know, Gilbert and I are now doing a once a month show on West Hollywood Public Access channel, on channel 36 on cable, and then I think it then goes over to AT&T Uverse at some point.
Yeah.
And so this was a little bit more. We got 2 hours to be expansive and talk. Well, that show is literally 28 minutes, but it's really 22 minutes.
Really?
22-minute segment, because everything else is the lead in, and it's TV, so it's different and it's live.
Oh yeah.
And so
getting ready for the big time.
we get ready for the big time.
Much success to y'all.
Oh, thank
this
you.
Is fabulous.
Thank
Please
you.
invite all the folks we just talked about on the program.
For sure. We'll do.
We'll do down here, because this is a great vehicle to get the word out.
Right.
We really want to get those small businesses ready, and so they can go after these opportunities that you just talked about.
And we want our community to be able to, leaders to come in and talk about what they're doing, because this is what this access is for, is to be able to talk and people know beforehand what's going on in our community, so they can be better prepared.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
So thanks again to Miss Angela Gibson Shaw, president of GLAAACC, and we really, really enjoyed her on the show. She's a strategic partner, so she's welcome here anytime she wants.
Thank you.
So just let us know.
You're going to be surprised who I show when they tell me, "Oh, I'm going to be on the Business Zone." I'm going to meet them.
Be like a Victor Parker. Hey, can I come every week? Can I be your only guest?
So we'll go ahead and take a break right now, and we'll come right back with our next guest on the show.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Do you have the video with the Christmas ball?
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the